SANDHAN, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
A very good evening to all of you. In education, today we will learn about human resource development. Beginning with what is human resource development. Human resource development actually, as you know, the tag itself, human resource development, how we can utilize as a resource the humans, and it further enhances the economic as well as the educational development. So let us see the slide first. In this you can see that in the introduction itself, learning development, development of human resource and economic development. Learning means two things are possible, knowledge and skill plus working capacity, and that contributes to economic development. HRD is a process. In short, we can say human resource development as HRD. HRD is a process of increasing knowledge, skill and the capacities of all the people in a society. The accumulation of human capital and its effective investment in the development of an economy. For an example, any economic development, it is not necessary how much infrastructure you have, how much capacities you have. It is more necessary that you should have good human resources. Human resource is much important because it contributes to the economic development. So what are needed? Number one, the learning and the skills and the knowledgeable persons are more needed in the human resource development. Now let us move on to the further slide. What actually human resource development means? Development of learned human population in such a way so that man can contribute in economic development. Number one. Number two, development of democracy produces mature citizen so that one can understandingly join the process of politics. Number three, development of such an individual who can make life prosperous, meaningful and worth living. And last, man is a living instrument to develop a nation. So if good human beings are there in our country and we can develop them in a good mobilizing way, then it certainly will contribute to the economic development of a nation, the social development of a nation, the cultural development of a nation, and it all perform the national development of a country. Next slide. Role of education in human resource development. So what is the role of education in human resource development? Namely, physical, mental, spiritual and overall development can only happen if education enriches these development. In all the phases, right from our kindergarten to the higher secondary, we have seen that all the subjects, all the co-curricular activities, academic excellence, scholastic experience always contribute to the physical, mental, spiritual and overall development of a human being. Number two, education can enhance the skills, potentialities, abilities and inherent talents of individual. Only education can disseminate all these things, namely the skills, which the skills the students have, the potentiality, the abilities and inherent talents which are not seen at a dormant stage. So introvert students, extrovert students, you can bifurcate them and channelize them in a proper way. Next, that education helps in the development of values comprising from moral values to democratic values, which is necessary aspect of human resource development. We are not making a country robotics that they are very good in skill, they are very good in abilities, they have good potentialities, but what is needed is the values, good values, moral values, virtues which contribute in a very good cultural and social atmosphere of a country. Next, education motivates to lead a prosperous and completed life, which helps in the progression, and it has been an ingredient in human resource development. So which are the things that we have just seen? That role of education. What is the role of education in human resource development? Education helps in not only the spiritual, mental, social and cultural, but it also cultivates proper skills, capabilities, potentialities, and apart from this, it develops and nurtures good values in the human beings, and these human beings contribute to the human resource development. Next slide. Education through which a man exhibit modernization of thoughts, conduct and attain a positive attitude towards modernization, which uplifts human resource development. The education which helps a modernized thought. That means if there is a society and a society welcomes the modern values, cultures, which also respect the ancient values and cultures and helps a stream of good thoughts conduct, then obviously the individuals have a positive attitude towards modernization. Next, professional skill is one of the main component of human resource development. As such, education helps to increase professional capability, which further deepens social, political, economic and cultural development. Professional skill, for an example, B.Ed, Bachelor in Education, we have various steps, right from micro skills, simulations, tray, block and everything. We are training the students in different skills. So in these skills, at the end of the day or at the end of the session, the teacher is a complete package of not only of the skills of all the teaching lessons, but also a good teacher educator. So once you train the professional, not only the professional skills but overall development of a human being, that definitely contributes to the human resource development. Next, education and investment in human resource development. This is one of the most important thing. We should take that not finance, not economics, but what is the investment in human resource development is education. Number one, direct effect of education is on professional skills. Number two, learned workers and good administrator contribute in the quality of not only economic production but also to the capital development of a country. That means learned workers and good administrator, that makes the works very easy, better than beating the bush every time to follow the excerpts and everything. Is better that we should have learned workers and good administrators so that they can channelize the proper energy at the proper way. Okay. Next, due to education, there is an increase in collection of knowledge and has widespread transmission of understanding. It's very true. Nowadays, if a teacher stands in the class, it is not in the ancient era that teacher is the whole in whole, but now the student is also a good transmission of knowledge. The teacher should come up to the level of a student so that he can know about what he can learn from the student itself, and the student must be knowing that what teacher can give to me. Fine. So teacher and a student should have a bipolar process, so there will be a widespread transmission of understanding and of knowledge. Research capacity increases. This will also help in further development. Research helps in further development, or what are the problems we can come to know. For an example, in same I am giving of B.Ed itself, we are doing action research, we are doing case studies. So in a class, when a student is having an intern for 15 days in a one particular school, he or she is coming to know about the particular problems of a class, particular problems of the individual, and how they can overcome all these things. So they are doing a particular research in that manner. Last, the spreading and extending of education brings about good educated leaders. Education plus learned organizers, administration plus quality researcher equal to investment in human resource development. So what is needed? That if we are dispersing the learning process, there is knowledge and skill. If there is knowledge and skill, it will surely contribute to the economic development of a nation. If it is an economic development of a nation, in the end it will be the national development. Okay. So when you as a teacher is teaching something in the class, you should disseminate the students in such a way that in the end of the time they come out as a good human being, and also they contribute to the nation. We are very much curriculum bounded, syllabus bounded. We are not looking into the physical and mental activity of a child. If we look into those manners, the child is a miniature of a product for human resource development. So if we nurture the child from the beginning stages, it will surely help in the development of a nation. As per the components of human resource developments, there are certain things that we should look into the teaching learning process also. For an example, if we are teaching in something like language, the subjects like language, maths, science or Sanskrit, all these languages and logics have been contributed in the class very well, but to a certain extent we should be innovative in dispersing all these things. Innovative not only in the teaching methods but innovation in the subjects also. if we are teaching, for an example, a language in the class, how the students' creativity can increase in writing the poems. We are only saying that the student can mug up the poem, the student can read the paragraph, but not about the essence. At the end of the day, what is calculated, that how we can appreciate one good thing. So language is means that how we can write by himself, how he can be creative by himself to organize properly in that manner. So human resource development, ultimately education plays a very dominant role in progression of human resource. So education is exactly the investment for human resource development. When we come towards the end, we will find that how it contributes at a larger scale. Now let us see the advantages of education in human resource development. Number 1, collaboration between education and business can provide students with variety of relevant learning opportunities. Nowadays you can see that many of the good schools have been employed with smart boards, ICT, so they are getting a very good relevant learning around them. The students are not bonded with the teacher, they can search lot of things on the net, they can have a live talk with the experts. So what is been doing is like new innovations are reaching to the students, and the students can come up to latest things, and this ultimately contribute to the development, overall development of all the students in a class. Number 2, field trips to reinforce classroom activities and move younger students from general to a more applied knowledge base. Whatever the things we are narrating in the class or doing like a chalk and talk methods, it's better that we can take them to the live experience. They learn something, they have to contribute to the learning also. So in this way they can contribute a much more things and can learn as well as grasp as well as give those things in a much larger way. Number 3, career days and speaker bureaus at both elementary and middle school levels. This is the main problem of most of the students, like after 12th standard they are not able to decide which field I have to go, or after 10 they are not able to decide which field I have to, and there creates a lull in the picture. So what has to be done? It has to be done that career talks should be there, guidance should be given to, proper guidance and counseling should be given to the students. Celebration of career days should be organized so that they can choose the career of their choice and can excel in that particular field, or they can see what are the advantages if I go to in that particular field. And certainly if they are choosing the right field and they are excelling in that particular field, it will surely contribute to the development of human resource. Next, focus career days at middle school level to inform students about available jobs and the requirement skills and credentials. Any college nowadays, all the programs conducted by our higher education, they are like Udisha or like our own private placement works. They offer the students at a larger scale where they can channelize their potentialities, where they can channelize their skills in what particular jobs. So before in hand they have to have some knowledge about those things properly, so that they can maintain those things systematically and adjust to that things where they can excel their capacities more visibly. Okay. Next, job shadowing in high school would continue the progression towards attaining vital career information. These strategies will provide individual students with information that will enable them to make better academic and career choices. Once a student in a class, in a general class, when like they are feeling that this one of my classmate is joining any other good institution, I should also join in that institution. So he has no thinking about its own, that where should I channelize my energy or where should I weigh to my potentialities. He is blindly following what others are doing. In this way, the individual is not only spoiling his career but also his all academic and overall development of his potentialities. So he should know about himself, what he can contribute to the development of human resource, how he can be he himself can utilize his utmost power inherent in him. So what can be done? The thing is that each and every school or each and every college should have a guidance and counseling cell, so that the student should not succumb to others' choices, rather than adapt to his own choices and come to a decision that he can do it by himself, herself in a proper way. So for proper all these things, guidance and counseling is needed, especially in education. Then only education can become an investment in human resource development. Next, when we see towards the end, we find that duplicating workplace resources in the classroom is unnecessarily costly and redundant, and can be avoided if education will collaborate with the community at large. What is our purpose of learning these things? Like, if we are duplicating the works again and again, what will be the effect? It is better to have innovation in our classroom. It is better to have practical lessons in our classroom, field trips in our classroom, communicate with the community at large, not by social networking sites, but by indulging with the community. For an example, literacy drive program involve the students, they can teach better than the workers, etc. So how they can involve the community at large, how their resources can be utilized at the community at large. So that plays an important role in community development also. Number 2, sharing the burden of educating youth can reform our entire educational system into one that is efficient and effective. Like, it's like when you are in a class or when you are writing an assignment, it should not be a burden for you. So the smallest example, that most of the students feel that whatever homework they are assigned to, it becomes a burden. So they are doing it for a burden's sake. But let it be an activity oriented assignment, so that they can pour their creativity, they can initially grasp those things very well and can digest it and can write it properly according to the choice of the his or her will, and this will surely contribute in making education a more lighter one, a more consuming one. Next, the marriage of HRD and education through preventive approaches could have tremendous impact on improving the workspace for the future. For an example, it is like